Hey everyone, welcome back. So we're going to start this muscle list with human muscles of the head and neck and then the chest and abdomen. So these are pretty easy. I'm going to show you a few pictures as well as a couple models. That's why I made myself big here, because I want to show you some of our models. And I don't have as sophisticated models as the college lab room, so I'm going to have to make do with this little one called Mini-Me. I like to call this Mini-Me. So I'm going to use her as a helper to go over this. Now, the first muscles, if you look at our list here, the first muscles are the Masseter, Temporalis, and Sternocleidomastoid. And these are so easy. They are the only muscles on our head, our neck, and our jaw that we have to know. Now, there are other muscles, right? But you only have to study what is on the list. So we have these three muscles on the list that we have to know. They're basically location muscles, all right? So the first one is the masseter. The masseter, piece of cake. It's your jaw muscle. So when you look at it, see, it's going to be the jaw muscle. See if I can orient this so we can see it. This is going to be kind of difficult. But our jaw muscle is the masseter. Remember, it's named after what it does. You masticate your food, which means you chew it. Get your minds out of the gutter. Mastication means to chew. So I'm chewing my food, I'm masticating. I love to masticate. I go to restaurants and masticate. I cook at home and masticate. I chew gum. I'm masticating. Masticating is chewing. So the masseter is your jaw muscle where you are masticating. So if you see a tag on the jaw, it's got to be the masseter. Now there are other muscles, obviously, but the only one on your list that you have to know is the masseter. One is equally as easy is the next one, the temporalis. Temporalis is located on the temporal bone, so it's right here above your ear, and it's the only muscle on the list that's attached to your head. All right? Temporalis, piece of cake. Then we have this sternocleidomastoid. The sternocleidomastoid is named after its origin and insertion. So if we look at this, if I can get it close. This is kind of a pain. Okay, I'll zoom out here so we can. Okay, the sternocleidomastoid is this neck muscle. So it goes from your sternum to your clavicle to this mastoid process behind your ear. So it's this muscle right here. See how it goes from your sternum, clavicle, and then the mastoid process. So this is your sternocleidomastoid. These first three muscles, all you have to know is their location. You see a tag on the head, has to be temporalis. You see it on the jaw, has to be masseter. You see it on the neck, has to be sternocleidomastoid. Piece of cake, right? The next set are almost as easy. The chest and abdominals. So we have our two chest muscles, pec major and pec minor. So if I show you this, pec major are going to be these muscles right here. All right. So this is pec major. All right. Now, this model doesn't have deeper muscles. So pec major is a superficial muscle. If I were to remove it, underneath is pectoralis minor. So let me show you a diagram. So this is page 58 in your book, your lab book. And let's look at this and we can see pec major and pec minor. So this is pec major. And then if we take it off, see on the right side of this diagram, you see this muscle that's attached to all the ribs? That's pec minor. So you have pec major and you have pec minor. Those are your chest muscles. So, you know, when you're doing bench press, you're working your pecs. Working my pecs, man. What you're going to do is you're going to be working out pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. So major on top, minor is a smaller muscle, and it is below pectoralis major. All right. So that takes care of our chest muscles. Next is a muscle called serratus anterior. And serratus anterior are these muscles that are kind of under our armpit. They're called, it's called serratus or serratus anterior because it looks like a set of serrated knives. So it's this muscle right here on the side of us is serratus anterior. All right, see on the other side, if I can get closer, you can see that it's a serrated muscle. All right, going back to this picture, if you're a picture kind of person, if I put this picture back on, see serratus anterior are these serrated muscles right here under your arm, kind of in your armpit. It's more on the side of you. All right, so that is serratus anterior. Then we have some muscles that are going to make up our abdominals. So the two obliques, transverse abdominis and rectus abdominis, these are all muscles that are making up your abdomen. All right, so if I go back to mini-me here, she doesn't show them all, but she shows some of them. The first one that we really need to know is rectus abdominis, the last one on your list. Rectus abdominis is your six-pack. Your six-pack is actually an eight-pack. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. So you actually have an eight-pack. This is rectus abdominis, your eight-pack. It's not a six-pack, it's an eight-pack. I love what Larry the cable guy says. He says, I've got a six-pack, I've just got a keg on top. I can relate to that, so I think that's pretty accurate. All right, so you've got rectus abdominis. Now, you're going to have your two obliques. Oblique means to the side. So the obliques are on the side of rectus abdominis, but they exist in layers. The outermost layer, the superficial side abdominal muscle, is external oblique. So it's right here. But to see the others, I've got to peel it off. We can't see it on this model, so I'm going to default to my picture here. The same picture on page 58. Let's look at this picture. So see, here's rectus abdominis. It's our eight-pack. On the outside here on the left, we see external oblique. In order to see internal oblique, I have to take external oblique and I have to peel it away. There's a layer underneath that's called internal oblique. And then if I peel that away, we have a third layer deep called transverse abdominis. So with this picture, this is external oblique, this is internal oblique, and this is transverse abdominis. If I go back to mini-me, all right, I go back to mini-me, she is going to show us external obliques, and then see, look, if I can actually pop her front off, and a lot of times, see, I even have it labeled from a previous test last year, transverse abdominis is going to cut right across. Internal oblique is sandwiched in between. So in order to see that, you would have to peel it away. All right? Now, in our lab class, we've got models that are going to show you external, internal, and then when you flip it over, it's going to show you transverse abdominis. All right? So these are the abdominal muscles, and you're going to have to know those as well. See, this is a pretty easy list. Students usually do really well with the human muscle part. All right, next we're going to move on to the back, and then that will conclude our online material. So I'll see you in the next video. Say bye.